Welcome to Stampede Your Business. Stampede.
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 Stampede your business.
Welcome to the show, everyone out there in podcast land. I'm your host, Bobby Glenn James, along with the other host, Brett Rich in the house.
Yo, what's up?
Brett Rich in the house. What are we going to talk about today, Brett?
So we've been talking about systems, right? That's been kind of the big thing. Tonight we're going to talk about management systems.
Management systems. Managing the systems, baby.
Management systems.
Oh, that's not managing.
Like managing people.
Right.
Like, yeah, bringing people onto your team and having a system to manage
managing
them.
the people of the systems.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got it.
Manage the people that the systems manage.
Systems manager.
Managing
managerial.
Managerial
systems.
Elation.
Yep. Elation. Yes. This is powerful stuff today. No, we're going to talk about management systems, why they're important, and how to gamify that and make it interesting to employees so we can keep connected. And I mean, there's something about this. We talked about gamification, and
we're going to go into the how a little bit more next week, but tonight we're going to talk about the importance of and a little bit of the how. I think just some of the things that you want to focus on when you're thinking the big picture around your gamification or your gamified management system.
Yes. So the big piece is that it needs to be some kind of a feel gamey management system.
There needs to have an element of fun. I mean, you think about those managers that will always be like, you got to do this and you got to do that.
Stickler.
And
micromanager.
The micromanager, and you kind of feel like, holy crap, just get off my shoulder, man.
Let me do my job. Dude.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I know what to do.
And the reason why managers like that exist is because they don't understand that the kind of information they're trying to convey and get back from you is information that can flow smoothly if you just have a process set up to allow that to happen. But if you don't do that, okay, so we've been talking about manage and control every little detail of your business, right? We've gone over all the stuff about how you need to watch every metric, every number, the information that the numbers play, and you can't innovate if you're not managing everything, if you're not orchestrating it. That was the big word last time. It was orchestrating it. And if you're orchestrating everything, but you don't have a system in place to manage your people, guess what you're going to become? Micromanager. Oh, that's right. Pain.
So the management system allows you to hand over the keys and watch it run.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I like that.
I want to hand over I want to have the keys to hand over.
Yeah, here, you take the keys just like to your 17-year-old. Here's the keys to the car. Don't wreck it.
Don't wreck it because it's my baby.
And they've been taught how to drive. They went through driving school, so hopefully they understand the process of car driving. Yeah, there's bumps in the road, but
yeah, stuff happens. But even when you were driving, stuff happened, right? You made mistakes.
Yep. And
so as your the keys really literally are the management system. It's the thing that they're driving is your business, which is a system that's made up of tiny little systems. But the keys themselves are the management systems.
And we're going to touch on this next piece really quickly, and I want to talk about. So a lot of folks, they'll have a business and they hire this guy, this person, this lady, this whoever, that's this expert that's amazing at what they do, and they cost them a ton of money because they're so smart and so they know exactly how to run this business.
I can't do this business without you.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't need a process. You don't need a management system because that person knows it all. They already have it all figured out. So a lot of times when somebody hires somebody like that, they let go of the business and they're like, oh, wow, I've been working my tail off. Now I have this person that knows what they're doing. I'm just going to let them run it. But what happens inevitably is that person will leave.
Oh yeah, they'll
especially if you use them and abuse them. They will leave.
And if you're so relieved that you let go and
disconnect from the company,
then that's abuse.
Yeah, and they're not going to stay, no matter how much money you pay them.
Well, the thing is when they know what they're doing, when they're that good, why would they work for someone else? Why would they work for you when they could be doing this thing on their own as well? Right. Yeah. I mean, if I'm smart enough that I can manage a business without any direction, then why would I not just be managing my own business?
Right. Or getting paid big bucks. So that leads us to you don't need, and can't afford highly skilled people. You need a management system.
That's right.
Now that people, I can't afford to hire a really good person. Well, if you understand your business and you have the management systems in place, you don't need to spend a lot of money on employees. You can hire, and I prefer in a lot of my companies to hire folks that haven't been spoiled by the world yet, that have not been trained.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like getting them before. So wrong. I can't do that.
I want to grow them and put some fertilizer on them and water them really nicely and have them grow into this powerhouse of a person. And you don't need to spend a lot of money on that, but you do have to be careful of who you hire and stuff. But
you always have to be careful on who you hire.
But if you have the right systems in place, you don't need these high-end folks.
No. Well, and you might need to call in a high-end folk person to consult and assist you
in making the management systems,
yes. Right? And there are people that are excellent at that kind of stuff, but you don't want to hire those people. You don't want to hire your consultants.
Right.
You want to use your consultants for what you paid them to do, is to make your business more efficient by creating those systems for you or with you, even better.
Yeah.
So that the people that you hire that don't know squat, that maybe have just enough understanding to be able to follow your system, they can do the job.
Right.
And you don't, and when they're not highly skilled, when they're not well trained, when you're the one that's doing the training, you get to set the price. You don't pay them what they think they're worth. You pay them what you need them to be, not what you need them to be worth.
Doing.
Yeah.
What you need them to be doing.
You pay them you just pay them for the work.
So with that said, what why not just ask it, what is a management system? What is that?
So we
went this far and I want to know, and maybe listeners, what is a management system? With
all the systems that we've talked about so far, everything has been about step by step down to the minute details.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing is plan everything to the finest details.
That's a management system?
That's when you have everything planned to the finest details, then you know exactly what everyone is doing because you've told them what to do.
And then you know if they're not doing it.
And then you know if they're not doing it.
If it's willy-nilly, the only time you know is when the customer is angry.
And then you don't even know what went wrong.
Yeah,
you just know that the customer is upset.
Yep.
So then the next part of a management system, and any system really within your business, is creating a checklist for people to follow. We've hammered this checklist idea over and over and over again, because the checklist really makes it makes all the difference, especially when you're hiring people that don't know what they're doing.
True.
You need to give them a step-by-step process of what to do. And I just in my day job, things that I've been trained to do. Sometimes I've gone into to learn stuff, and I'm given this full sheet checklist of things that I need to do every single time. And really, like, it's a whole sheet, it's a whole page, it's a lot to look at. And you think, wow, do I really have to do that every single time? And the answer is yes. But what happens is after a couple of weeks, it just becomes rote memory, and you just follow that checklist, you follow that flow, because it's that easy. And then when something goes wrong, it's because you got off the checklist, or because it was a one-off situation that you just didn't know how to handle because the checklist didn't cover that situation. Now we can update the checklist and make it better.
Boom. There you go. So what is a management system then?
A management system is a clear communication of what needs to be done.
Boom. That's a management system. Bam. And using all the things that we just talked about is how to create it.
Yep.
It's really actually not rocket science, and it's not even hard. It is, but you do have to pay attention.
You do have to
know
pay
what
attention.
your company actually does and how to do it well.
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the cool thing about management systems, because now you're dealing with people, right? And you can't just plug in numbers and make people go.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a management system, you can actually create it to resemble a game. How many games have you played? How many different games? There's tons of games. There's board games, sports games, video games, everything, right?
Yeah. Lots of games.
But every game has rules.
Right.
So do you not like the game because it has a rule?
It makes it funner because of the rules.
It actually makes it funner
because
because
if it was
of the rules.
willy-nilly, it would suck. Well, I've played some football, some like field football games where there's no rules. It's pretty brutal.
It can get pretty dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Can't be fun
Danger,
until
danger.
somebody breaks something, then it's not fun.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Or fights break out. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, rules are good. Rules make things better.
Rules do make things, and it makes it
funner.
more fun.
Yeah, it
really
does.
does. So when
I bet with that said, back in the day when we played a lot of video games, and I owned a gaming company and stuff, and we would play Counter-Strike back in the day. There were these hacks that some people could be invincible, or they would always do a headshot, and they could hack into the game, and then they would play you, and immediately the game became super unfun.
Yeah.
It was no longer interesting. I mean, you would just die. And I always said to people, man, that isn't fun. Even if I had the cheat, it's not fun to just kill everybody.
There's no challenge.
There's no challenge. Yeah, it was not. And I just remember thinking, why would you? I mean, they're just people that are a-holes out there, and they just wanted to do that and be a jerk. And that was fun to them to be a jerk.
Yeah.
But the gameplay sucked because of that, because they circumvented the rules.
Yeah.
It made it not fun.
It makes it not fun. Well, and that's why the rules are so important. And so the rules actually, they give you boundaries, they give you purpose, and they give you
a way to win,
challenges,
a way to win.
Yeah. So when you create your management system, it should resemble a game.
Should have rules.
It's got to have rules.
Because with a rule, you get to provide a consistent value to your customers, your employees, your suppliers, and lenders beyond what they expect.
That's
because
only
those rules.
That's only if you've taken the time to figure out all the details, the finest details.
Yep.
If you want to create, I would dare say, if you want to create a consistent value to your customers, employees, suppliers, and lenders, then you need to have rules. You need to create a game-like system.
Now, on our paper, it says here the model will be operated by people with the lowest possible level of skill. Man, that just sounds wrong.
Doesn't it?
It sounds wrong.
It sounds wrong.
When I want my NFL guy, I want him to be really good at his game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you want him to be good at the NFL game.
So
but,
why is it saying this?
Well, think about it this way. Is just because an elite player can play the game better doesn't mean that a newcomer can't play the game
as good.
Or
even better. And I kind of look at it that nobody can be great at everything.
Yeah.
And if you hone in on a skill, then you can be much better than trying to do everything for everybody.
Well, and I would also say that by the time someone gets up to the NFL level, they had to start, they had to get to know that game.
Right.
They're not great athletes all around. Many of them probably are, but that's not what makes them great at football.
Right.
It's because they know the rules. They know how to work within the rules because they've spent some time playing that game.
And again, with the lowest possible level of skill set, they're usually teachable.
Oh, very much.
They're willing to learn and grow and get better.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is business and having employees. That's an awesome thing to have. An employee that's really excited about learning and growing and getting better.
Yep, absolutely. So when we talk about the model, that's the game model, the management system itself. So the model itself is going to also stand out as a place of impeccable order.
Impeccable order.
What are your thoughts on that, Bobby?
To me, that because of the way we're talking about stuff, impeccable order means it's perfectly done, like the list. Everything is perfect as it should be, and you can just follow along, and it's easy peasy because it's put perfectly the way it needs to be done. That's the way I see that, and it makes everybody's life easier in the business.
Yeah.
Every employee, it's so nice. I just follow the checklist, and less accidents happen, and you can keep track of if things are working or not. Mm-hmm. Super easy if you are impeccable with the process.
You know, I've spent a lot of time in the financial industry, and trading stocks is a very dangerous thing.
I've heard that
to hand to people and let them do it for you.
Put some money out there; it'll come back.
Right. Well, what I'm talking about is being the person actually entering the trade for clients.
Oh.
And there's a lot of risk that the company takes on to allow you to place that trade for their clients. And there's errors that can cost thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. It's pretty impressive the kinds of error sheets that I've seen in that industry. But and you know, you work for a good company, they can fix those errors and make, but it costs them. It costs the company some money.
You fix them by hiding them, right?
They don't hide it. No, they fix it by.
Oh, we gotta hide that. You just shred it, and then it never happened.
Shred it.
Then it never happened.
Yeah, that's right. No, but what I'm saying is that as a stock trader, then people would call me and they would say, place this trade, and sometimes it seemed tedious to be asking the same question or verifying the same information that we just verified 2 minutes ago, and reading everything back a third time just to make sure that it was done correctly. But that was part of my process, and I always followed the same process so that I didn't have any trade errors. And anytime that I had a trade error, it was because I missed a step.
Ooh, ouch.
I missed a step. And fortunately, I've been able to focus, and I haven't had many trade errors, and definitely none that were high cost. But the point is,
follow the
checklist,
and it makes your life and the
that
business
impeccable
life
order
and the customer
means
better.
Yeah, it's just everything.
I love it.
All right, so all work in the model will be documented in the operations manual.
You need an operations manual for your management system?
For everything.
You should actually have a manual.
So here's a cool thing that I've been working on with Stampede. So we talk about Stampede being our example, right? And one of the things that I've been working on is a checklist for publishing the podcasts. So we have podcast publishing side
network.
Well, yeah, and that's part of
Stampede.
Stampede is what a sister. No, it's not a sister. Like a daughter business. What? Because Stampede's the mother. Anyway,
umbrella.
Yeah, so we have the network under the Stampede umbrella, and I've been primarily responsible for publishing these podcasts. And so what I've done is I've gone through and I've said, okay, what are the things that we do with each of the podcasts, and how do I keep track of that? So I actually created a spreadsheet where I keep track of the episode. I've got the episode name and all the steps that I take with each of those episodes, so that I can put down the date of when it was completed, and keep track of not only when it was completed, or not only if it was completed, but when it was completed, and then I can actually take that data and create a flow. So this spreadsheet is part of what's going to be the operations manual for publishing podcasts.
Aha. Gotta have an operations manual. That's where, so when somebody gets hired, they know what to expect.
Exactly.
Here's the manual. I mean, I've been in companies way back in the day, and they'd always have a manual that you were given.
Yep.
And you were supposed to, and you knew what to expect from your job because of that.
And in the manual, it's not just one checklist. It's a series of checklists based off of the different tasks that you are expected to be able to accomplish.
The model will provide a uniformly predictable service to the customer. Uniformly predictable service to the customer. So instead of it being willy-nilly, hopefully this will do something for you, customer, or you may or may not like this, it needs to be a predictable outcome. Is that what we're getting from that?
Yes. And okay, so let's get back to the basic concept of Stampede Your Business. This is all about creating $1 million business that is sellable. And you cannot have a sellable business if there is not uniform predictability in how your business works. Nobody wants a business that is not uniform or predictable.
Right. They won't pay you for it for sure.
No.
Yeah.
They won't.
I love it. True.
So if you want to create $1 million business, you have to have the uniform predictability.
I love it. Awesome. The model will utilize a uniform color, dress, and facilities code. Interesting. What's up with that?
So you have to think about every little detail. Now,
Gosh,
are you going to make a uniform for everyone? Maybe not. But there's going to be a code of some sort, a uniform dress code, meaning we're not. If
shorts in the office.
Maybe. I mean, if I am a golfing company and I'm working with golfers, then maybe you can have shorts in the office. Don't you dare wear a suit
and tie.
Yeah, that's against policy. That's against the rules.
Right.
Or
if you work for Richard Branson, he cuts your tie off with scissors.
Does he? Oh, I love that. That's awesome. See, so don't even show up to work with a tie on, or you'll get your tie cut.
Yep.
And so there's a dress code that just says there's some kind of uniformity among us.
About everything. And when we talked about in the beginning that the management system has to be precise about everything, even down to the dress code. It sounds nitpicky, but it sets the culture, it sets the frame. And if that culture is that we wear shorts, and we don't wear ties, that is a piece that the employees can own and be connected to.
And gosh dang it, we're going to wear shorts even in the winter time.
Yeah. Because we live in Florida and we don't care.
Because we live in Florida and we don't care. That's right.
Well, we don't live in Florida, but here in Utah, it would suck to wear shorts in the winter, but
but you think about bikini cuts. I don't know if that's still a business anymore.
No,
but
I don't know.
But that was.
I never had the guts to go get my hair cut.
I never did either.
Do I look like a perv if I go in there? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It would be weird. It was an interesting idea.
It was an interesting idea, but the point in bringing that up though is that it didn't matter what time of year.
Right.
They had the same dress code all the time. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't dress up. It was a very specific mode of dress
down.
A very specific mode of dress down. Right.
Wow, we went there.
Right.
Where were you going with this?
No, the whole we went there just threw me off. I knew where I was going until you said that. And now I don't. I'm gone.
So you no matter what, it's a part of the culture. You do it.
It creates the culture.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, they still weren't told. Like I imagine they weren't told what kind of bikini they had to wear.
Leopard.
Leopard. It had to be leopard print.
Bikini.
Silver or black and yellow, it doesn't matter. Just leopard.
All right. Yeah, silver leopard bikini.
There you go.
I have a beautiful picture in my head now. Oh my gosh,
it's very clear.
Well, did we get off track or not?
I don't think we did.
Well, we're absolutely. Yes, you're true. Yes, you're true.
But here's the key about that last bit. It's all about your brand.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the culture that you're creating in your company.
We joke about shorts and bikinis and stuff, but that's that company's brand. There's not very many companies out there that are going to have that specific in their brand,
and it makes you notable too.
But having something that's very clearly defined and uniform does make you more notable.
Yeah. Cool. All right, folks. This was cool. Management systems. Got to have them. We've been talking about them. You got any last words, Brett?
When you start hiring people, you've got to have a management system. But
if you want them to be good employees,
start when you hire them. That's the last thing I want to point out and say here is the management system does not start when you hire people, because the first person you hired is yourself.
Yep.
You don't run a business without yourself. So you are every single piece and part that you haven't hired out for. And therefore, when you create this management system, you have to make sure that it is managing you, that you are managing yourself with the same game that everybody else is going to be playing.
Yeah, that's where it starts. So do it now. Even if you're a solopreneur, you need a management system. You need to understand pieces and parts of how you run your company.
And it'll make it easier to hire people.
Absolutely. Awesome. Ooh, that was a good one. Cool. Well, we'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Stampede Your Business. Stampede.
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 Stampede Your Business.